What if I told you that trying to become more flexible could be limiting your yoga practice? There's an idea within the general public that yoga is about flexibility. So what most people get into yoga for is reduced stiffness, less pain in their muscles and joints, a little bit extra range of movement, a little bit of ease in their body when they're moving around. And when you start practicing yoga, you'll get that quite quickly. Most students will feel that they are getting more flexible, but there seems to be an upper limit for how far they can push themselves, and they find it harder to transition to some of the more challenging poses within yoga. Most people find themselves in a cycle where they feel good straight after their yoga practice. They feel loose, they feel more flexible, but by the time they come to practice again, they've already lost that flexibility. They become more tight again. And especially if they do anything else like athletics, running, just going about your day-to-day business life, maybe you've been spending all night on the dance floor, you start to lose that flexibility again by the next time you come to practice. And you get yourself in this cycle where it's flexibility, stiffness, flexibility, stiffness. You never seem to be progressing in your yoga practice. I don't personally think there's anything wrong with striving in your yoga practice, and to feel this sense that you are getting better, in inverted commas, at your yoga practice over time. Now, because of this cycle, people can normally get frustrated because they feel like they can't get to their next level in their yoga practice. And I've seen it with so many of my yoga students where it's a really simple fix in technique and mentality that can take your yoga practice to the next level and start unlocking those harder yoga poses that you want. You need to start to think about being strong in your yoga practice. That means in every pose that you are taking, you are thinking about how muscles are working with each other and where this push and pull between strength and flexibility is. You see, flexibility and passive stretching is just one side of an equation of mobility training. Flexibility opens up the muscles and joints, ligaments, tendons, everything through passive stretching, through opening the range, which gives you range of movement to work within. But if you don't have the strength to actually move into those positions, you're never going to maintain that flexibility over time. That's why you get this cycle of people feeling like they're flexible straight after yoga practice, but the next time they come to practice, they've lost most of that flexibility. Learning how to get stronger in your yoga poses is what keeps you balanced and stable in your poses and transitions. It's what helps you transition from different pose to different pose, technical pose to technical pose, without losing any flexibility and balance. See, every yoga pose is a balance between strength and flexibility. And as soon as you start to see it like that, yoga starts to get put on easy mode. So let's look at a pose like triangle pose, for example. So most people know the kind of shape that they want to be making with triangle pose. And so many times that I try to help people feel that their muscles are actually very relaxed, even though they're making the shape of triangle pose. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But what you would really want to be doing if you want to try to increase your range of movement is learn how to engage this muscle as the back of the leg is also lengthening under tension. So that means that even though the hamstring is getting longer, it's doing it while it's engaged. With the body side on, yes, you need mobility in your hamstring to get lower, but if you're only focusing on the mobility on your hamstring, you're never going to get the body strong enough to be side on. That means that you need to be engaging the back muscles here, whilst your shoulder lifts up high towards the ceiling, or your hand lifts up high towards the ceiling. If I don't have that rotational capability in my core, I'm never going to get this hand up here, and I'm always going to feel off balance as my hips will push back to counterbalance me here. So yes, the triangle pose is a hamstring flexibility, adductor flexibility position, but you need loads and loads of strength in your side body. Right now, my obliques are lengthening. Yes, they're getting longer, so technically they're stretching, but it's happening under load. If those are flexible but not strong, my whole body collapses forward and loses that rotational capability. People who are very flexible in their triangle pose wonder why that they struggle when they come into a half moon position, because they've never been teaching their hamstring to maintain strength here. They've never been teaching their back muscle to maintain strength while they're holding this position. Then all of a sudden, once you're learning how to be strong and stable in these positions, half moon becomes easy. Triangle pose becomes easy. Your transitions between pose to pose become second nature because you know how to move each muscle from a lengthened position to a shortened position. Keep that in mind when you're practicing your yoga poses from here on out. Start to feel where the balance is between flexibility and strength in each pose. Keep practicing like this, and within no time, you're going to be the person in class who people ask whether you've always been naturally flexible. Peace. Love you guys. I'll see you soon.